the handsaw. What are your thoughts? B sharp? Or maybe a C? Let me know down below. G'day folks, Uncle Knackers here from DIY for Knuckleheads. Now look, have any of you out there wanted to get into woodworking or any other sort of DIY where you can learn all sorts of cool and vitally important things like learning how to play the handsaw? But after watching tons of videos on YouTube of guys with massive workshops filled to the brim with amazing machines and tools, and you think to yourself, nah, look, I just don't have the space, the tools, or even the bank balance needed to get started. Might take up gardening, it'd be cheaper. Well, today is your lucky day, because in this video I'm going to show you that you don't need a workshop the size of a football field, and you don't need the bank balance of Elon Musk to buy all the tools and equipment needed to get started. So let's go on a little shop tour, and I do mean little, where I'll show you the space that I have and also go over some of the tools that I use. And I also thought it'd be a fun idea to finish the video off by a walk down memory lane and just showing you how some of those past projects have held up over all these years. I think you'll be surprised, so make sure you watch right through to the end of the video where you can check those ones out. Alrighty, let's get cracking. So all I have to work with is a 6x4 single car garage, and as you can see, on one side is all of our junk, push bikes, camping gear, even my drop saw sitting up top there, and on the other side is my workbench and tool storage. And unfortunately we can't have anything in the middle here, because this area here is the main thoroughfare from the car right through to where the garage door meets the house. So as best you can, you've got to keep this area clear, which kind of takes up a fair bit of space. So what do? Oh, I suppose you just got to deal with the hand that you dealt with. Or is that play with the hand that you dealt with? Deal? You know what I mean. Now look, I haven't got a jointer or a massive table saw, a bandsaw or a router table, or even a thicknesser. But the whole point of this video is to show you that for doing stuff like I do, and for the beginning woodworker, you don't need all that gear. Don't get me wrong, if I had it, I'd love it. But I don't, so I do without it. Now that space over there is all I have for my entire workshop. Told you it wasn't very big. The workshop isn't very big. Oi! Now I do virtually all of my work on this single workbench here, which I built a few years ago. As you can see, the workbench is on wheels, which means taking the bench outdoors when I know I'll be making a lot of mess a whole lot easier, especially with all that added extra weight of all those tools. Piece of cake. Now I love the fact that the workbench is on wheels because it makes it nice and mobile, but there's one thing that I need to address, and that is, even when the wheels are in the lock position, because of the weight of this thing, it moves around when you're chiseling or planing on top of the workbench, which can be a real pain in the backside. Now one way to address that issue, which I'll do when I get some time, is to buy yourself a set of wheels, not these ones, these are just ones I had floating around the shed, that you can attach to the face of your workbench leg, leaving the wheel clear of the ground. And when you want to move your workbench around, you flick a lever, the wheel comes down, raising the leg up off the ground so you can move your workbench to wherever you want it to be, and then flick the lever up, which drops the leg back hard back on the ground again, making the workbench nice and stable. And if you're interested, I'll leave a link to a set of casters that will do that job perfectly. Now this workbench is the hub of my workshop, and as you can see, it holds all of my tools, and you may have already have noticed that I'm a big fan of the blue box. Yep, love my Makita. I've been using it ever since I was an apprentice over 20 years ago. Still using it today. It's a good quality product and the price isn't too bad either. Now look, I'm not saying that Makita is the only tool to go out and buy. It's just that I'm a Makita man. Always used it, probably always will. Some guys are Dewalt guys, some are Milwaukee, some are Ryobi. Whatever floats your boat. The key is to shop around, get yourself a half decent product at a good price, and you're good to go. If you've watched any of my videos, you'd probably recognise these tools as my weapons of choice when it comes to my woodworking projects. And I'd consider this to be the basic woodworking kit. And in that basic woodworking kit, we have the circular saw, the cordless drill, the electric planer, the electric sander, the electric jigsaw, and if you can wing it, you can pick yourself up a gas gun, which is an amazing time-saving tool. And you may have noticed that most of my tools are corded apart from the cordless drill, which means that you can pick up a pretty good tool at a much lower price than the good quality cordless ones, which is a good thing to remember when starting off your toolkit. And if you're interested in finding out more about the tools that I use, I'll leave a link to my tools and resources list in the description box down below. So make sure you check that one out. Yeah. Now a great addition to the workbench is this cracking little Dewalt DW745 portable table saw, which is supported by this bench, and simply attach that to the workbench. The workbench then becomes the outfeed table for the table saw, which is very handy. So overall, this is a cracking little table saw and perfect for what I do. But having said that, for the beginner woodworker, you don't need to go out just yet and buy one of these, if at all. And for the more advanced woodworker, this will be too small and you need to go out and buy a more purpose-built machine. But for me, I love it. It's a big thumbs up. And tucked away semi-neatly in the corner of my workshop is my scrap wood pile, where I source all of my scrap wood for all of my upcoming projects. And I tell you what, at times this stack is out of control. I do a massive cull, get rid of everything, and then start all over again. What's your wood stack like? Let me know down below. And just to finish the workshop tour off, I told you it wasn't very big, is we have my weight bench, which I use a lot, and in this room here is just my little storage center. In these two cabinets I have, let's have a look, we've got my Makita router. This is an absolute beast of a machine. This is my spare Bosch planer, which I use when doing pallet work and don't mind getting the blades trashed. Down here we've got a grinder, some lights, drop sheets, a laser level, Makita radio, and over here in this cabinet we have an absolute schmozzle. Got some caulking gear, plastering gear, sockets, screwdrivers, some paints, and if you swing over to this side, once again an absolute schmozzle. We've got some spare toolboxes with all my extra gear. We've got some painting equipment in there, with some more painting gear in that box, and just over in this little section are my spare nails and screws. And basically that is about it. And now with the shop tour over, and like I said at the start of the video, I think it'll be a fun idea to have a walk down memory lane just to check out how some of my past projects, which I've built using the tools that you've just seen, have been holding up over the past few years. Starting off with my trellis fence. And I'll leave a link below in the description box to all of the project videos that are coming up, just in case you want to check them out. Alrighty, let's do it. Now that trellis fence behind me, I built that back in, I think, October 2018. And I love that trellis. It breaks up the bland look of that fence behind it, and it's a great wall to grow vines on. Now, one thing that I forgot to mention in the trellis video that I made is that once you staple the mesh on with your staple gun using those sort of staples, go back over and hand hammer in these sort of staples here, like those ones. The reason being is that if you have kids and they're bashing soccer balls up against this fence, these staples tend to vibrate loose. Now, this is my wife's office, and this is the Scandi style desk that she requested and absolutely loves. It's big, it's wide, and dead easy to make. And I'd have to say it's one of the best things that I've put together. And I especially love these metal hairpin legs, which just simply screw to the underside of the desktop. Very simple, but look fantastic. Now, this is another one of my pallet wood projects that would have to be one of my favourite builds. It's a set of bedside tables, a little quirky, it's functional, and I love it. This is about 5 years old now, still looks fantastic. And this was my vintage coat rack project, and from memory it was the first of my 30-minute challenges, and I think I knocked it out in about 29 minutes. So as well as being quick to make, it looks fantastic. And when coming home from the beach, you just simply hang up your towel and you're good to go. Good stuff. The clothesline behind me would have to be one of my more practical jobs. It triples as a place to hang your clothes, a privacy screen, and a place for the young bloke to practice his tennis. Oops. Ooh, it's not good. The only thing I'd do differently next time is instead of using an exterior grade varnish, which to be honest has peeled off quite badly, I'd go for a water-based decking oil. Oh well, lesson learnt. Now, the kitchen table, which has now become Jigsaw Puzzle HQ, has been absolutely amazing. Mate, this thing is nuclear bomb proof. I built it from the fascia boards of the old house that I demolished to build this one. We've had some pretty big parties here, and it's withstood everything that we've thrown at it. And even the odd table dance. It's solid, it's as heavy as lead, and I reckon this old girl is going to be around for a long time to come. The coffee table, I built this about 4 or 5 years ago out of pallet wood with a couple of scaffolding planks for the top, and now it's just used to support this big old TV that the kids use for the gaming, as you can see here. Still functional, still doesn't look too bad, and I think I must have built this during my TEAL phase. Does the job. Now, the bench seat I made a few years back is still in vogue today and goes really well in our main bathroom. Made from old fence palings, it cost virtually nothing to make and would be a great product to sell at a market stall, where I reckon you could easily pick up between 80 and 100 bucks a bench. Sawhorses. Everybody needs a good set of sawhorses. I built these babies about 5 years ago out of 4x1.5 pine, and they are awesome. I used them during my renovation every single day, which took 10 months, 7 days a week. And after all that, they're still as good as new. Not bad. They're strong, sturdy, and stackable. What else do you want? Great project. Now, this wine rack was one of my first ever pallet wood projects. As you can see, it no longer holds wine, unfortunately, but I do store my spray paints, glues, and a few magazines in it. It's really simple to build, solid as a rock, and to tell you the truth, it's a bit sentimental. It's like your firstborn child. Oh, there. Now, the outdoor shower that I built a couple of years ago has been an absolute hit. With my 2 eldest boys being mad keen surfers, this gets to work out at least 4 times every single day. Having the drainage hooked up to the sewer system ensures that the water gets away, and I've also connected a retractable hose. That way everything is kept nice and neat. Now if I can offer you one piece of advice, if you can manage it, hook up the hot as well as the cold water. It is so good. Speaking of, it must be that time of day. And finally, the biggest project of all was when I built our own house. It turned into a 50-part series where I show you how to step-by-step build your own house as an owner builder. Didn't turn out too bad. And the good news is that it's almost 3 years down the track and it hasn't fallen down. Happy days. So that's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed that little snoop around my workshop, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section down below. Alrighty, well, I hope you enjoyed that video. Please, as per usual, a big thumbs up is always greatly appreciated, and if this is your first time to my channel, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Ooh, I think I need a cup of tea after all that. So till next time, be safe, and I'm out of here. Cheers.